Sandy Brondello, head coach of the Toronto Tempo. Thank you so much for being at CBC Sports.
Thanks for having me on the show.
So I just wanted to start that you've spent a little bit of time in New York, different season. The Toronto cold right now, how is that hitting?
It's pretty cold. I've only been here a few days now. It's an adjustment coming from Phoenix. It's my off-season base where it's 25 degrees during the day, and I've come here and it's like minus 15. But I have coached in Russia, so I know what cold is like, and hey, a little change in the weather is not too bad.
That's awesome. I just wanted to talk. You're the inaugural coach for a team. You have an incredibly storied career. You have 2 W championships under your belt. You coached Australia in the Paris Olympics to a bronze medal. And you're what they have called the cornerstone of this franchise. What is this role like for you? And is there added pressure for you in this particular role?
No, look, to be quite honest, I'm so excited to be here. And, the challenge of building something from the ground up really excited me. And where I'm at in my career, I've won 2 championships. I've had pressure my whole career, and I think you do, because I want to be the best coach I can be and have the best results. But this was just a different challenge that I haven't done before. I was chosen in the expansion draft back in 2000 by the Miami Soul, so I kind of know what it's like as a player, but never obviously as a head coach. But that's what excited me, to actually lay the foundation and have a really strong foundation and build it from there with really good people. So excited about the challenge and excited to be in Toronto.
That's awesome. And the excitement around this team has been really important and necessary. I was going to ask, though, we're at an unprecedented moment in time right now. You are building a team. The W has yet to reach an agreement with the Players Association. You're an accomplished coach but you can't sign players right now. How are you navigating this as you're building the team? The front office is building their own team. How are you mapping this out?
Look, I think all you can do, and I say this to my players all the time, is like control the controllables. So we can do the preparation behind the scenes. We're out watching a lot of the college games. We're strategizing what the expansion draft could look like and potential players that we could have on. We're targeting the free agents who we feel that we have a really good shot at, that we want to build around here. So I think, that's it. That's the moment. You just do your work behind the scenes. And when the CBA does get done, and hopefully it does get done sooner than later, because it'd be nice to have a player. We have no players. We don't know, okay, what kind of style you want to play? I don't know. I don't have any players yet. I know I have a vision of how I want to play. But until that, we just work really hard and prepare the best we can and be ready when it really does happen, because it will happen quick.
So you just mentioned having a vision. Do you consider yourself a visionary?
Yeah, I hope so. I think over the years, basketball evolves. I think, how I coached years ago, it changes, the style changes. But for me, it's not, my vision, it's not just my vision. I want it to be a collaboration with the people here. And, I really love working with Monica Rogers. And I think, she's a former player too. I think we're the only GM head coach in the league that have played in this league. So those experiences resonate. You want to work with really good people. But, we have a vision of what we want. An expansion team, people say, yeah, that's hard, but that's exciting too. Especially in a new country of Canada. Yeah, we're a Toronto Tempo, but we're Canada's team. And that's pretty cool. And being someone from Australia, I know how much Canadians love their sport and support it.
You mentioned that you and Monica work together and are working together really well. You're both new to Toronto. She's mentioned you're somebody who actually can build culture and build community. How is it different for a city like Toronto that is already so vibrant? Like, what does that add? Is it more difficult? Is it easier?
No, look, I think it's, it can be hard or easy. And for us, when we're picking teams, now we want to put the best team out that can give us the best product. But, that means obviously talented players that complement each other. But we want them to also be good people. We're talking about the foundation. Yes, we're building from scratch, and that includes the culture. We're building our culture from the beginning. We're building the legacy of this new team, which is very exciting because we have we can have a footprint on that. So culture for me is something, it's not a word like everyone talks about culture, don't they? Like I do a lot of activities and team building and with my players, because I think the more that they can get connected off the court and be more vulnerable and open about who we are. We're all different, aren't we? But we come together as one. And that's really fulfilling for me. And, you know, I really love and care for my players. They become a family. But, you know, we want to, you know, obviously we're in a different country too, but that we want to make sure that's resonating and that we're playing in the right way and going out there and playing with joy. You know, what we do is hard. We have to embrace hard, and I love that part of it. But in the end, I mean, we've got what a great job to be doing. We're professional coaches and players, and so we'll invest that time into the culture, and that excites me because it allows me to get a deeper understanding of who that person is and how best to coach them. But, you know, what do they need from me? And it goes both ways.
You seem to have a really composed handle on this, particularly as you just said, building your culture revolves a lot around the players. You don't have any yet. But was that something that you mentally prepared for, or you can be mentally prepared for, to be in a situation where, you know, we're about 4 months out possibly, and they're like, you know, you're working on the things that you said, the controllables that you can control.
Yep.
But how did you prepare, or can you be prepared for a moment like this, a situation like this?
Look, I think my experience helps me. I've been a professional athlete for 18 years. I've had different teams, different coaches, but we've really from the beginning, I had a coach in Australia, we will really focus on the culture aspect. And when I talk about culture, like I said, it's not my culture or, you know, the presidents or the GMs, it's the players determine. It's more about the values. What do we want to live by? You know, what are the standards of this teams? And it allows us to, you know, hold each other accountable to those levels. I suppose my experiences working with different teams has helped shape me, like what works, what doesn't work. That doesn't mean it's always been perfect. But, I mean, what a great opportunity to learn from in those situations. But, you know, I love, you know, I've been a player. So I've been in their shoes before. I can relate. I can communicate to them. But, and I, you know, there's a lot of alignment. I'm not a dictator. I would say I'm a player's coach, and I keep talking about that. But it's, you know, it's that kind of alignment. And we go out there and, you know, look like a very connected team. And, you know, we don't have players, but we still have a vision what that kind of looks like, and we will live by those values day in, day out.
So while there is a team building, the Toronto Tempo front office is building, and there's over 30 staff members.
Yeah.
What's that like to be a part of? Because you're in the office, you just came from the office. What's that part like for you? Because usually you come in and that's already done.
Yeah. No, it's very exciting. Like, obviously the other teams I've been a part of, and for many, many years, but especially as a head coach with Phoenix and New York, the coaching staff and the front office was separate from the business. Now, like obviously it will be once we get closer to the season, we'll be moving into, you know, obviously our offices elsewhere. But it's fun just to go in there and just to see everyone working, see how much energy and how much excitement there is, and there's so much passion, and that's what really excites me. They're so happy to be a part of the Tempo, and there's so much talk going around, and even out scouting. People are saying, hey, go the Tempo, let's go, coach, can't wait to see you. And, you know, I just think we got really motivated people, and, you know, I can't wait for the season to start and continue to build. It will be, you know, we're not going to, you know, it's going to be hard. We're going to be the best team we can be, but we're going to embrace that hard and continue to build, and those foundations from the beginning really matter.
Canada, and Toronto in particular, but Canada arguably embraced the announcement of the Tempo. They love their women's sports. They love basketball, and you've seen that. Do you feel that excitement from the public growing? Because it's been there. There's been some distractions, but do you feel it? Do you sense it? Because we have a strong women's basketball community in Toronto as well.
Yeah, which I love. And that was another reason here too. Like women, we need to be more empowered. You know, especially women in sport. I think we all have a passion for that, and not just basketball. Now, obviously, I'm in the field of basketball, but it gives us another opportunity to continue to grow the game, to put role models in front of these young girls to say, you can dare to dream, because anything is possible. But I love, you know, I see obviously the AFC Toronto team, they did so well, and just building like these amazing women that can go out there and be professional athletes. So it's been fun for me. Because, I think when I took this job, it's like, okay, I've never done an expansion, but I felt the excitement, and that really resonated with me. And, I am international as well, and I think I love the diversity of this city.
Your introduction meeting, that press conference, you had mentioned at the time, because I was there that day, that you hadn't seen that many media members out at an announcement like that. And I noted that even you came from larger markets like New York and then also Phoenix. Why do you think that is? What do you think about you and about this team in particular?
Well, it's new and it's exciting, but I just think they love their sport, and it shows me that the Canadian media are interested in women's sport. And this is something new, and it's going to be big. If you followed the WNBA, I think you've seen the growth over these last few years.
It's been meteoric.
Yeah, it's,
the rise.
Like everyone wants to have ownership here, and so that excites me. And it's great to see the media that gets behind it, because we go hand in hand. For us to continue to grow, we need the media, and obviously us players. We want to make sure that we have a alignment and a connection as well. And I'll be giving as much access as I can, because I think those inner stories, getting to know the players, that's what the public wants to see too. It's not just we want to be the best team we can be on the court, but also they're also amazing human beings, and they've got brands and they've got strong voices, and I'm excited for the public just to get to know our players when we do sign them.
You've worked in many different countries around the world, and although you're based in Phoenix right now, and I say right now, is there any glaring differences or good differences you've noticed about Canada and being here so far?
Oh, look, it's way different than Phoenix, the weather. But look, I suppose the people, I find the people are very friendly. They're not just busy. You see them. I went to a restaurant yesterday for lunch with the business ops group, and the whole restaurant was packed. I'm like, okay, this is good. It's not just all work. It's the social aspect as well too. It's very vibrant. I love the diversity. It really reminds me of Australia, and I haven't lived in Australia for quite some time. I visit there a lot, but I think that excites me, and everyone talks about the food. Now, I've experienced some amazing food, so I'm excited to continue to explore, everything of Toronto and also Canada.
So a little on the competitive side.
Okay.
So Toronto's an expansion team, so is Portland. Is there a particular rivalry in your head already against the Fire because they're also an expansion team, or is that too premature?
Yeah, that's too premature. I mean, I don't get into that. I'm just worried about, let's just put the best team together on the court, and also, the staff. And you talked about, I'm building out my coaching staff as well, which is great, because we want to make sure we have the best people in place that we can put the best product on the court. And in the end, the players are the product. So it excites me. I can't wait to coach, maybe some familiar faces, maybe some new faces, but that's exciting as a coach. You get to build something from scratch. I think the hardest thing is our training camp is so short, and we got 12 new players. It'll be just getting that cohesive unit. And
because you're so familiar with the league and the teams and so many of the players, is there a particular team or player that you're excited to play against?
No, all of them. I'm excited about the first game of the season, to be able to play in front of our fans and get a feel for it, and hopefully put on a great show. And, I think we will. It's already a sold-out arena, but also getting the opportunity to play in Vancouver and Montreal, not places I've spent a lot of time. I've never been to Montreal, but I'm excited just to explore this country, obviously not just as a, first time there, but also to showcase the WNBA and what the tempo are about.
And you were talking and you mentioned, and you've recognized that Canadians love their women's sports, and Toronto in particular. There's already 2 professional teams in the city. Have you had a chance to meet the people from Toronto Scepters or FC Toronto? Have you had a chance to talk to any of the coaches or anything like that from those clubs?
I have the coach. I had a dinner after I was announced here a few months ago, and I got to meet him, and obviously Darko come, he's with the Raptors, but I got to meet the head coach from AFC Toronto, and it's good. I think what I found that it's like one big community. We support each other regardless of the support of the sport that we play, and that's pretty cool, men and women. I've obviously just emailed with the ice hockey team, so I'm excited. They're going to be pretty busy because they've got some games. They're on the road now, and then they're going to the Olympics. So I'll probably have to see them once they get back from the Olympics and I'm back in Toronto.
So the proposed or scheduled, rather, inaugural tip-off for Tempo is May. That will just be before the Men's World Cup. I'm wondering which is going to be hosted
Yeah.
in Toronto. Do you feel that's a bit of a distraction, or do you feel that's a help, or the energy will be high? Do you have any thoughts on the upcoming World Cup in Canada?
Well, it's the World Cup. Even I watched the World Cup of soccer, men or women. It's kind of epic. And, I think that's great. It's great. Like, you're talking about a sporting city to host really big tournaments like that. I think it'll add a buzz to the city. And maybe, obviously, people coming in to watch soccer, they'll see some Toronto, hey, what's this tempo thing, and come and watch a game or get a little bit more exposure to, obviously fans of a different sport. So I see it as a bonus in that regard. It's going to make the city probably even busier than what it is.
You've spent a little bit of time in Toronto already. Is there anything about the city that surprised you?
It's bigger than what I thought it would be. It's a lot of traffic, so I feel it's like a mini New York, to be quite honest. I look forward to exploring these next few days too. But yeah, it seems, it's a big city, which is great. And I think, we want to sell, Toronto is, players love big cities. They love exploring. We don't work them, 12 hours a day. We make sure that they have that freedom, but, opportunity to see another great city. I heard summer in Toronto is amazing. So we're going to sell that big time. But also like the theatre, I've heard that's great. The restaurants that we talk about, we have the water, all of that, and be able to opportunities to, obviously different sports teams as well.
So have you tried poutine yet?
No.
You haven't had poutine yet?
No, I'm not sure what it is.
Okay. Poutine is the French fries with the cheese curds and the gravy. It's like a Canadian staple. I was going to ask, would you take that or would you take Vegemite?
Oh, I'd probably take the pommes frites. The chips, the hot chips with the gravy on top. Probably shouldn't, but I would.
That's the one thing I couldn't get behind in Australia was Vegemite.
Vegemite.
I think I put too much on.
Yeah, you got to have a little bit of a toast and put some butter.
Sourdough butter.
Not too heavy. I think people put too much on it. That's too much of a strong taste for that. But, Australians, we grow up on Vegemite. It's nothing better than a Vegemite sandwich.
Except for Tim Tams.
Tim Tams are pretty good too. We've got a lot of great food down there too.
Is there, and this is kind of, we talked about this a little bit ahead of this chat. When I traveled to Australia, I was really excited to see a quokka. Is there a Canadian animal that you haven't seen yet in real life that you're excited to see?
I'm not really sure. I've seen them all, really. I have young kids, so I've always been to a lot of zoos around the world. So I've probably seen them all. But, yeah, not sure. Maybe there's some, I'm not sure of all the Canadian animals as well.
A beaver or a moose?
Seen a beaver. Okay. I haven't seen, I have seen a moose.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe that was on TV.
It's impressive. If you travel across Canada, which the team is planning to do.
Yeah.
You might get that opportunity.
Maybe. I don't know if I've seen a moose. I've seen so many. I've lived all around the world.
Yeah.
So, at the zoos, they have all these animals from everywhere. So I can't really remember, but no, it's great. I'm looking forward to seeing everything Canadian. And everyone talks about our animals in Australia being dangerous. So I'm not sure. Are they dangerous, these animals here?
Well, I mean, raccoons are a little bit of a nuisance, but they're beloved as like a mascot. In fact, when they were doing a little bit, the social media team at Tempo was asking people what they think the name should be. I know the raccoons were a particular suggestion.
I'm pretty happy we're not called the raccoons. I think the Tempo, I think that resonates well. I think it kind of flows.
And if you were going to say right now in terms of tempo, what's your beat? Is it a bit steady? Is it fast? Is it a bit smooth? Is it slow?
You want my beat?
Yeah.
Or the team's beat?
Both.
Look, we talk about, basketball terms. Every coach now, we're going to talk about pace. That's tempo, isn't it? Space, creativity, creating spaces like that. I want to play a fun style. I want to get out and run. I want to play tough. For me as a coach, though, I'm pretty steady. I don't get too high or too low. I've been doing this all my life as a player and as a coach. And there's a time to be mad and there's a time to, hey, we're not going to always be perfect, but it's opportunities for us to grow together. And as long as we stay on course, we'll be okay. You mentioned a little bit, and this is my last question. You mentioned a little bit about Toronto being a family in sports. And you have a connection to Coach Darko. So, and you know each other from the basketball scene and from before. Have you been to a Toronto Raptors game? I did. When I was announced here, I went to the Raptors and they announced me there. And I got to spend some time with Darko before the game, and we got to know each other in Phoenix. It was the COVID year, but and that's what I love about this community. He was so welcoming, and I can't wait to spend more time around him. I think he's a brilliant coach, and it's great to see the team doing so well. But when I'm here, I'm going to attend as many Raptors games as I can. And I love watching sport, but I watch it as a fan, but I also watch it. I'm watching what they're doing. Okay, what can I steal? What can obviously I can use for the tempo once I have my players.
So you have your players. What is one thing you want young girls in this country to learn from you as they watch you lead this team?
Be your authentic self. What you see is what you get from me. I'm like I say, I don't get too high or too low. I'm trying to be the best person that I can be. I'm going to have some failure, obviously, but I'm a quick learner. But don't be something that you're not. So I always say, everyone out there, be your authentic self.